Okay, Torah portion, Vezot, Habracha. It is Deuteronomy 33 and Deuteronomy 34. It's also with the Haftarah is Yehoshua or Joshua chapter 1. And let's just get right into it. And this is the blessing which Moshe, the man of Elohim, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, Yehovah came from Sinai and rose from Seir for them. He shone forth from Mount Paran and came with 10,000s of set-apart ones. At his right hand a law of fire for them. Indeed, he loves the peoples. All his set-apart ones are in your hand, and they sat down at your feet, receiving your words. Moshe commanded us a Torah, an inheritance of the assembly of Yaakov. And he was sovereign in Yeshurun, when the heads of the peoples were gathered, the tribes of Yisrael. Let Reuben live and not die, and let his men be numbered. And this of Yehuda, and he said, Hear, Yehovah, the voice of Yehuda, and bring him to his people. His hand shall fight for him, and you be a help against his enemies. And of Lui he said, Your Tumim and your Urim belong to your lovingly committed one, whom you tried at Massah, with whom you contended at the waters of Meribah, who said of his father and mother, I have not seen them. And he did not acknowledge his brothers, or know his own children, for they have guarded your word and watched over your covenant. They teach your right rulings to Yaakov, and your Torah to Yisrael. They put incense before you, and a complete ascending offering on your slaughter place. O Yahovah, bless this strength, and accept the work of his hands. Smite the loins of those who rise against him, and of those who hate him, that they rise no more. Of Benjamin, he said, let the beloved of Yahovah dwell in safety by him, shielding him all day long, as he dwells between his shoulders. And of Yosef, he said, Blessed of Yahovah is his land, with the choicest from the heavens, with the dew and the deep lying beneath, with the choice fruits of the sun, with the choice yield of the months, with the finest of the ancient mountains, with the choicest of the everlasting hills, with the choicest of the earth and all that fills it, and the good pleasure of him who dwelt in the bush. Let it come on the head of Yosef, and on the crown of the head of him who was separate from his brothers. His splendor is like a firstborn bull, and his horns are like the horns of the wild ox. With them he pushes the peoples to the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are in the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, O Zebulun, in your going out, and Issachar in your tents. They call peoples of the mountain. There they slaughter slaughterings of righteousness, for they draw from the riches of the seas and the treasures hidden in the sand. And of Gad he said, Blessed is he who enlarges Gad. He dwells as a lion, and shall tear off the arm, also the crown. And he chose the best for himself, for there the portion of the inscriber was hidden. And he came with the heads of the people. The righteousness of Yahovah he did, and his right rulings with Yisrael. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion cub that leaps from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with pleasure and filled with the blessing of Yahovah, possess the west and the south. And of Asher he said, Asher is most blessed of sons. Let him be accepted by his brothers, and dip his foot in oil. Your sandals are iron, and bronze, your strength is your days. Your sandals are iron and bronze, and your strength as your days. And Yeshurun, there is no one like El, riding the heavens to help you, and on the clouds in his excellency. The Elohim of old is a refuge, and beneath are everlasting arms. And he drives out the enemy from before you, and says, Destroy. Thus Yisrael dwells in safety, the mountain of Yaakov alone, in a land of grain and new wine. His heavens also drop down dew. Blessed are you, O Yisrael. Who is like you, a people saved by Yahovah, the shield of your help, and he who is the sword of your excellency, and your enemies are subdued for you, and you tread down their high places. And Moshe went up from the desert plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is opposite Jericho. And Yahovah showed him all the land of Gilead as far as Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim, and Manasseh, and all the land of Yehudah as far as the western sea, and the Negeb, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees as far as Soar. And Yahovah said to him, This is the land of which I swore to Abraham, and Yitzhak, and Jacob, saying, To your seed I give it. I have let you look at it with your eyes, but you do not pass over there. And Moshe, the servant of Yahovah, died there in the land of Moab, according to the mouth of Yahovah. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, and no one knows his burial place to this day. And Moshe was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his freshness gone. And the children of Israel wept for Moshe in the desert plains of Moab 30 days. And the days of weeping and mourning for Moshe were completed. And Yehoshua, son of Nun, was filled with the spirit of wisdom, for Moshe had laid his hands on him. And the children of Israel listened to him, and did as Yahovah had commanded Moshe. And since then no prophet has arisen in Israel like Moshe, whom Yahovah knew face to face, for all the signs and wonders which Yahovah sent him to do in the land of Mitzrayim, before Pharaoh, and before all his servants, and in all his land, and for all that strong hand, and all the great fearsome deeds which Moshe did before the eyes of all Yisrael. Joshua, or Yehoshua, chapter 1. And it came to be after the death of Moshe, the servant of Yahovah, that Yahovah spoke to Yehoshua, son of Nun, the assistant of Moshe, saying, Moshe, my servant is dead. So now arise, pass over the Jordan, and you and all his people, to the land which I am giving to them, to the children of Israel. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads, I have given you, as I spoke to Moshe, from the wilderness and this Lebanon, even as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and the great sea toward the going down of the sun is your border. No man is going to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I am with you. I do not fail you, nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you are to let this people inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, to guard, to do according to all the Torah which Moshe my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it right or left, so that you act wisely wherever you go. Do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you guard to do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous and act wisely. For I have not commanded you. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, nor be discouraged, for Yahovah your Elohim is with you wherever you go. And Yehoshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, Pass through the midst of the camp and command the people, saying, Prepare food for yourselves, for within 3 days you are going to pass over this Yarden to go in to possess the land which Yahovah your Elohim is giving you to possess. And Yehoshua spoke to the Reubenites and to the Gadites and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, saying, Remember the word which Moshe, servant of Yahovah, commanded you, saying, Yahovah your Elohim is giving you rest, and he shall give you this land. Let your wives, your little ones, and your livestock stay in the land which Moshe gave you beyond the Yarden. But you shall pass before your brothers in fives, all your brave fighters, and shall help them, until Yahovah has given your brothers rest as unto you. So shall they also take possession of the land which Yahovah your Elohim is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession, and shall possess that which Moshe the servant of Yahovah gave you beyond the Yarden, toward the rising of the sun. And they answered Yehoshua, saying, All that you have commanded us we do, and wherever you send us we go. According to all that we obeyed Moshe, so we obey you. Only let Yahovah your Elohim be with you as he was with Moshe. Whoever rebels against your mouth and does not obey your words in all that you command him is put to death. Only be strong and courageous.